How are you? How you feeling?
I'm a little tired.
Tired? You been working out?
Yeah, getting ready for March 31st, WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Well, before we get to that, I have a lot of questions about that. But I want to ask you several things first, and that is, number one, kids idolize you. Wherever I go, wherever I hear, children really look up to you. And how do you feel the example you're setting, how is that good for children?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I'm a child of God, and I'm so grateful to God for all of my success. And that's the key element where all the kids like me and look up to me, because Mr. T don't smoke, he don't drink, he don't do drugs. I don't endorse drugs, I don't endorse alcoholic beverages. You won't see Mr. T telling kids don't drink, then I'm around in the back of my car, I'm drinking a beer. You know, I practice what I preach, you know, and I listen to my mother. You know, like I said, see, if I was to do something wrong, if I was to get involved with drugs, I wouldn't be just hurting Mr. T. I'd be hurting the millions of kids who look up to me. And I know how important it is at this day and time. A lot of kids and teenagers and some adults, we look for heroes.
Right.
And what happened is the heroes that we put all our faith into, they wind up being drug addicts or junkies or something like that. And that destroys us. See, I am a product of the ghetto.
Right.
You know, I'm a product of the welfare system. And it's so important that I state that, because that gives the people who still on welfare, who still in the ghetto, they give them hope. So it happens a lot of time, a lot of guys, especially black guys who make a little money, we forget where we come from. We never want to admit that we was on welfare and things like that. You know, like I said, even though we was poor financially, we was rich spiritually. My mother raised me that way in the church. So I don't stray from that.
Okay,
you know, go ahead.
Excuse me for interrupting you. That's all very moving, and I'm glad to hear you say that. I wanted to ask you, A-Team is a very violent show. Does that play against your image?
Violent? Who said it's violent?
Well, I haven't. No, I said it was. No, I've seen the show, and I see, you know, the guy with the cigar and you, and beating people up and shooting off guns. And now, isn't that antithetical to your image, all that violence?
Well, you use a big word. See, Mr. T.
Antithetical means opposite. Forgive me.
Right. I'm a street brother. That's why the kids.
Well, I'm from the street too.
That's why the kids.
I learned that word myself.
The kids relate to me because I'm not a phony.
I'm not a phony.
A lot of guys try to use big words and whatnot. I use this and that, whatnot, in plain, simple English.
Okay.
So everybody can understand me.
Right.
That even the fool can understand me. The winos, the junkies. I go to Harlem. I go where the brothers hang out on the street. Things like that.
Okay.
I don't isolate myself.
All right.
But the kids, every child know. It's the adults that are the problem. And I say this here all over the world. I don't believe there's a child in the world that hate Mr. T. White, black, blue.
Let me interrupt you.
I'm making a statement.
I know you're making a statement, but you're not answering my question.
I'm getting around to that, brother. I'm getting around to that, you know.
All right. I'm glad we're brothers.
You know, yeah, we are brothers.
I mean that.
All right.
Okay.
I'm getting around, like I said. You know, white, black, blue, or green. There's no child that hate Mr. T. If you do, it's because his parent tell him. You know, kids don't know nothing about racial prejudice or hatred or the ugliness of jealousy, you know. So therefore, kids understand this is a TV show.
Right.
They know. Any fool know that if I was hitting guys with my rings, there'd be blood everywhere.
Right.
You know, this is an entertainment show.
So it's cartoon violence.
We don't kill nobody.
Right.
No, there's no violence, period. But I'll tell you what. See, you know what, when the show first came on the air, Mr. T used to go around saying, no, the show ain't violent, this and that. Yes, the show is violent. I love to kill. The man hired me for one reason, because I kick butt. I'm the best butt kicker on TV. I didn't audition. I say 3 words an hour. I'm the highest paid guy in Hollywood. I say, shut up, fool. You know, and I make $3 or $4 million a year for that.
Okay, cool, fool. We got to go to a commercial. We'll be right back.
What'd you call me?
Mr. T. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back with the I was going to say one and only, well, the one and only Mr. T and me, Mr. B. So let's take some calls. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
My name is Stephanie, and I'm calling from Portland, Oregon.
How are you, Stephanie?
Fine, thanks. And I have a question for Mr. T.
Okay.
I heard him say in an interview once that women don't like him. And I was wondering if that is still true, and if he does find it difficult to have a relationship with a woman or women.
That's a good question. If it was addressed to me, it would be a good question.
You know, one thing that makes Mr. T what I am, because I'm very controversial, very outspoken, you know, you got to understand, with Mr. T being as hot as I am, that's so easy to get something started out with my name in it. You know, I don't know where the lady heard that from, you know. Some question I just refuse to even answer because it's so stupid. You know how that sounded, Mr. I'm going to say women don't like me.
Well, perhaps you read that somewhere.
Well, people got to understand you can't be reading you can't be believing everything you read.
Well, that's true.
You know, if you grab one of them smut magazines, you know, my mother told me, you know, you nothing come out of a garbage can but trash. So if you read one of them papers, you know, they supposed to take you. There are people that say, well, let's make up a lie on this guy. Okay, because people going to buy it. All right, you know.
Well, let me ask you this. On your show, there's very little romantic interest.
With B.A.?
On
that's right. That's right. That's not my character. Every man got to do what they pay him to do.
Right.
My character, like I said, B.A., bad attitude. I like kids, and that's it, because kids are honest. I don't like to fool around, no joking. You know, do the job, get it done, finish the assignment, get on back. You know, less talking, more action. I'm an action man.
Okay. I hope that doesn't answer your question.
Right.
All right. Hello, you're on the air.
This is Laura from San Antonio.
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good.
I want to ask Mr. T, when did you start going with Hulk Hogan and why?
When I started what?
When did you start
When did you start wrestling with Hulk Hogan?
When he allowed me to. You just don't work with the man. He got to pick you. You know, I'm glad he liked me. The guy's a superman, you know. Everybody not qualified to be his partner. So I'm honored to be like him. Because it's every man's dream to be at them pythons, 24-inch biceps and things like that, you know. So
how did you meet him?
We met when we did Rocky III. Did you see Rocky III?
I sure did. You think I would not see it when you were going to be a guest here? Ha 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 ha. Thank you. I don't have to change character. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Bill from North Carolina.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good. You have a question for Mr. T?
Yes, I do. I wanted to ask him how much wrestling he's done, you know, prior to this, and what he's doing to train to get ready.
Okay. Well, I'm doing to train to get ready. Me and Hulk Hogan, we've been riding the subway looking for mothers. This ain't no joke.
Well, I find it amusing.
We're trying to do New York a favor because New York have a problem. New York don't have enough men in the city. They got a lot of whips. You guys go down there. Let me explain what a whip is.
Please do.
A whip is these guys run around here figure that they're a man because they can get a woman pregnant. That they're a man because they can go to a gym and lift 300 or 400 pounds. You know, to me, that man's the sissy. You know, that allows his wife to be afraid to walk the streets. My mother or my daughters will never be afraid to walk anywhere, as long as I'm alive. You know, I say that man is the whip that allows they loved ones, they can't come outside and play. Where are the men in the city that allow this stuff to go on like this here? So me and Hulk, we got a train in Central Park looking for mothers, run around in the bushes and everything, you know. We beating up guys left and right. This ain't no joke, man. It's serious business. You know, so that's why they got me on the 18. Like I say, you know, the man had me for one reason, because I kick butt. I don't have no problem with being violent. That's my nature. So that's how I train for wrestling. That's what's going to happen on March 31st.
Let's take another call. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, Richard.
Yeah, babe.
Yeah, this is Mitch from Woodbury. I called the other day.
Mitch, that's okay. What is on your mind today?
Before I get to this, I just want to say you got a great show. The band's great. You're great. And keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, now, Mr. T, I don't know if you'll answer this, but at least I'm a long distance away from you. You don't know where I am, so you can't do anything about it. I just wanted to know, how much in compensation are you getting for this match? I mean, after all, the promoters, they're charging $8 to see the match on TV. Okay, I mean, they're really cleaning up on this match. I just would like to know how much you're getting for this particular match.
I mean, I may look stupid. You think I'm going to tell you?
I don't think you would. No. Well, he took a shot, you know. See, if 1 million people watching, it's $8 a ticket. You'll clear like 300-400.
You get what you pay for.
Exactly.
See, Mr. T don't go around. I got to tell people, if anybody have a problem with Mr. T, you know, I tell them to do 2 things. Don't buy my products and don't watch my programs. You know, people gonna tune in because they want to see what I do. They want to see what the Hulk do. They know we're going to take care of business. You know, so they're going to get their money's worth. Nobody going to leave there unsatisfied. So when you go to the wrestling match, you go to cheer the good guy and boo the bad guy. If more people get into wrestling, that means they won't have to go home and beat up the wife and kid. You know, it's a pressure releaser.
Right, I agree.
Let loose your anxieties.
Are there any rules to the wrestling that you have to abide by?
No, I don't play by the rules.
There's no rules at all.
No rules.
All right, let's take another call. Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, Richard, how you doing? My name is Hal. I'm calling from New Orleans.
How are you, Hal?
I'd like to ask Mr. T, I've never seen him with the gloves on. What's the image? I caught the show after it started.
Oh. What's with the gloves, man?
Well, you got to understand, you know, if he's following what's happening, we're getting ready for March 31st, WrestleMania. I'm in training. It wasn't my idea to come do the show. I'm going to tell you why I was here. They told me there'd be... I didn't come here definitely because you're paying me a lot of money. I came here because they told me there'd be some sick kids in the audience, and they know I have a weak spot for kids. So I've been very tired. You know, we've been training. Me and the Hulk been choking each other, throwing each other off the ring, into the ring posts, figure four leg locks and all that. It's not easy lifting up a man 305 pounds. It's not easy at all, you know, and have the guy choke you all night long. That's why I'm hoarse. I'm wearing the gloves because I've been training. I done told the clown that we was in Central Park riding on the subway. You know, so we've been throwing rocks at the mothers that wanted to get away from us, you know.
The city must be safer since you've been training.
You better believe it.
Probably is. Why do you think wrestling has become so successful so recently within the last few months?
Well, because more closet wrestling fans are coming out. See, a long time ago, you had some guys from Wall Street, them executives, them uppity people, you know, the bourgeois people.
Right. Who
used to see wrestling as savage sport. Who used to go and attend them little phony tennis matches, you know, all this old mess. Don't know what's going on, you know. Here you come see wrestling, you don't be ashamed and say, yeah, I come there, I like it, man, it's outstanding. They can enjoy it. So that's what they're doing now. Now they're coming out. See, guys, they be on Wall Street in the daytime with their shirt and tie, and the evening they take their shirt and tie off and sitting there and hollering and rooting and all that stuff. Then go back to the office next morning and say, no, you wouldn't catch me dead in a wrestling match, you know.
Okay, we'll be right back. Mr. T's going to stay here. Hulk Hogan's coming out. Stay tuned, and you guys listen to your ties. You're not, you're not a whole thing. Okay, joining us is the World Wrestling Federation champion, the cause of Hulkmania, Mr. Hulk Hogan.
You know, I was listening to that monitor, brother, and the dude is a little cocky today, but I figured it out. You got a lot of brains because my man, Mr. T, we've been training all day long. He got me up at 5:30 this morning. We hit the iron. We ran up and down the subways in New York. And you know something? What? The reason you were so cocky is because Mr. T promised me he wouldn't lay a hand on anybody, even though you look like a mugger. You do look like a mugger, that little sadistic face and that criminal forehead. He promised me he wouldn't touch a man until March 31st. That's why I know you got a lot of brains, because you stayed a little far away from my man. T, I appreciate that. I don't want you busting anybody up until the 31st.
Ooh. Now, mainly I didn't want to hurt the guy because the kids is here. You know, I didn't want the kids to see that, you know. He did make me mad, you know. I get so tired of going on these shows, these interviews, these reporter asking me stupid, dumb questions, talking my show is violent and all that mess, you know. The most violent show on TV is the 6 o'clock news.
Yeah. Okay, now, you guys are wrestling Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful, and you have a vendetta against... What's the vendetta all about? Why is there so much excitement around this match?
We have a vendetta against everybody we go up against, man.
Well, I was particularly addressing this specific match in which you're going to make huge sums of money on.
No, you don't know nothing about that. We might be doing it just because we like violence.
Okay, I can.
I just told you we didn't get no money when we cleaned up the mugger that was on that L train this afternoon.
Well, he wouldn't have $8 million on him back.
Well, you don't know what he had. You trying to mess with some people, but I tell you one thing. Right now, the L subway is a little safer.
Here. Okay, so I can go back down there now. Stop hitchhiking. Anyway, why is there a big vendetta in this particular match? I know you guys have the word vendetta as an operative term in your lives, but specifically this match.
Hey, man, just speak English, man. Just speak so everybody can understand, you know. I don't know. The guy, I'm saying, the guy telling you all these big words, man. We street brothers, man. That's why people relate to us. Because we just come out there, we talk to the poor people, we talk to the rich the same way. People are people. So let's deal on a straight line.
You've more than made that point. Now, why are you so angry at the two gentlemen that you're fighting on Sunday?
Well, you know, apparently you don't know what's going on, man. You must have been in a log cabin or something. Well, I'll lay it out for you, little dude. Let me tell you how
big deal.
You know, Mr. T, he's been hanging around wrestling a long time. Maybe you don't know his background, man. The dude was an amateur champion in Chicago all 3 years in high school, man. Beat everybody in under 10 seconds, you know. And the thing is, the man won the bouncer contest 2 years in a row. He's not an actor. He is not an actor. The reason he's on the A-team, like he said, is TCB takes care of business better than anybody else I know. And the thing was, he's been hanging out in L.A. at the matches, hanging out in Chicago, and on February the 18th, I had Roddy Piper defending the WWF heavyweight title. I had the man right where I want him, down on my knees. He was down on his knees begging for mercy, and then all of a sudden I got cheap-shotted.
By who?
You apparently don't know what's going on. Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, and his bodyguard, Ace, Bob Orton, took a cheap shot at me, man. They were kicking my brains out in Madison Square Garden. When I looked up on the apron, I seen my main man, Mr. T, the only man in New York City that had guts enough to climb over the rail, put his whole acting career on the line, and he stepped in the ring and saved my life.
Wow.
That's why there's such a, I guess you call it a vendetta. I call it bad feelings between us.
Well, that's more to the point, bad feelings. And didn't they insult Cyndi Lauper, my friend?
If you're afraid, why wasn't you there to help her defend the honor?
You're a coward, that's why. You're a coward. That's all there is to it.
That's why I said New York is full of whips. Ain't no way in the world, all this stuff of crime and stuff's really going on. These men call themselves men and whatnot. This place, man, is sickening.
Yeah. Anyway, you used to be a bad guy in the wrestling world. Now you're a good guy. How did you make that switch?
Well,
to me, you're a good guy all the time. But...
Well, it's kind of hard to say. When I came to the WWF World Wrestling Federation about 78, 79, I needed a little management, man. I was kind of new up here, and I didn't really know what was going on. So Mr. Fred Blassie offered me a lot of money if I do things his way. Well, I'm still wrestling the same way. The fact that I started training, saying my prayers, and eating my vitamins, and I got rid of Freddie Blassie, that's what the people got off on, I don't need his guidance anymore. The fact that I go in the ring, I try to wrestle fairly, but when somebody takes a cheap shot at me, I like to give them a little receipt, It's kind of like do unto others before they do unto you. And that's what the people in New York City and all over the world get off on, man, because I'm a survivor, I take care of business, and the thing is, I fear no man.
I believe you.
Can you dig it?
I can.
Are you a man?
I can dig it twice.
Are you a man?
What do you think?
I really don't know.
You want to step outside? I'm just kidding. Why don't you guys, I want you to show me some
we ain't showing you nothing.
Moves.
You didn't come here to show no moves, man, We didn't come
I'm talking to him, man, okay?
You want to see some moves? You buy your closed circuit ticket. All right, we're going to show you some moves.
Come on.
Elementary.
We're going to show you some moves.
Here. There's certain terminology in wrestling.
We're going to show you the body slam.
Take those glasses off.
We're going to show you the body slam.
Take off my glasses.
We're going to show you the peach squeak sandwich.
You just stay right there. Don't you come over here.
That's right.
Okay. Now, the camel crusher, what's that?
Camel clutch. I don't use that move because...
Well, show me one of the moves that you use. What's your famous move?
Well, I'm going to have to stick to the basics with you. The floor is a little hard here, and I don't want you getting hurt. There's something
I don't want you getting hurt either, so, be careful.
Yeah, you can apply, nice and easy if you bend over.
No, sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
all right, it's okay.
Now, the first thing you need to know about amateur wrestling or professional wrestling are submission holds. You just tell me, brother, when you want him to quit squealing, okay?
All right.
It's called a front chin lock. How about it, T?
Keep like that for a little while. Because he's all right. He's just sleeping. He's sleeping. Really, I was a sleeper hole. He'll be all right. He's waking up now. That was a serious move for a lot of people.
See? It works. All right, brother.
And now, we'll be right back after this word from you-know-who. We'll be right back.
I'm going to take off, okay? I'll see you next week.
Yeah, okay. See you, Dad.
Let you know
Richard was hurt. It was an accident. Hulk didn't mean to do it. These things happen in television. It is live television. And now I think Hulk and T should just talk about this kind of thing, how it can happen, and how to avoid it.
I feel really bad about the situation. Richard asked me to demonstrate a professional wrestling hold, and that's exactly what I did. I put what is called a front chin lock on the man, and when I released him, he fell and hit his floor. It's a situation where you need to be a professional at all times, and the type of hold, when I would put that on a professional wrestler, I would apply probably 10 times as much pressure. I didn't realize that apparently he doesn't do any physical training at all. I'm not sure because I'm not saying that in a smart way. I really apologize. I mean, usually something like that I could put on Mr. T and there would be no problem at all, because he didn't give me any type of sign or say anything. It's a situation where I'd just like to warn people that if you're not a professional athlete or not a professional wrestler, don't try to copy what you see the athletes or the professional wrestlers do on TV.
All right, in the add to what the Hulk's saying, this man is the champion of the world in wrestling. I don't know if you've seen the piece a while back on 2020. A reporter asked one of the wrestlers was wrestling fake or for real. So the wrestler slapped the interviewer twice upside the head. The guy wanted to know, was it fake or for real? I think he found out it was for real. Like I was saying earlier, I said, this is not a joke. You see me training out here, I am serious. I don't get in that ring with these two guys I'm going up against Sunday. Joking. These guys are dangerous. I got to know what I'm doing. I used to be much fatter. I've trimmed down. I lost 27 pounds in 4 weeks. Like I said, I've been training with the Hulk. And this, we're training hard. I've been eating right. We're throwing each other around. I have to be in top physical condition. I've been examined by a doctor, make sure I'm healthy. It's too many people going around thinking, hey, I think it's phony, I think this here, The man asked, this is the champion. I wouldn't ask him myself to put me in a wrestling hole. He didn't get to be the heavyweight champion of the world in wrestling by playing. He's ready. We're ready for Sunday.
Okay, but the point of this is that when Hulk got up and started to walk over there with Richard, I mean, there was a little sign between the two. They're like, we're going to teach him a lesson or something like that. So it did get a little dangerous.
Well, let me explain. Number one, like I said, we are at our peak right now. Today is Wednesday. Like I said, what's my idea to do this show, man? I didn't want to be doing interviews. We should be in training right now. The guys we're going against, Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff and Orton, them guys ain't gave one interview. They are training. They are sleeping. We were not getting interviews when I said I came because they told me it was some sick kids.
They told us there were 50 crippled children here in wheelchairs. That's why we're here today.
Before we came down, there was a little sick child. He was dying. Came to our hotel. That was his wish to meet the Hulk and Mr. T.
Well, there are children here, and they're
all right. I'm saying we here.
We can understand that, but the premise of why we came on the show, they told us there were 50 children here, which we're happy to be here. Don't get us wrong. We feel real bad about the incident that just happened. When the man asked me to put the wrestling hold on him, it was the most simple hold I could think of without taking him down on this hard floor or anything. But when somebody asked me to show him a professional wrestling hold, especially when they sit here and laugh in my face when I'm talking to him, I just showed him the simplest hold that I knew, and I thought he would at least be able to,
Well, Richard is the host and a very good one. And
I agree.
He was not laughing in your face, and we hope everything is all right.
I hope he's all right too. Okay. I really do.
All right, we're just going to take a commercial now. When we come back, we'll try to figure out what we're doing. Thank you. Okay.
Addis's guest Hulk Hogan and Mr. T then promoting one of their matches. Richard traded light banter with Hogan and Mr. T. Apparently they didn't appreciate Belzer's wit. Suddenly Hogan put Richard into a sleeper hold, picked up Richard, and then tossed him to the ground. Think wrestling's fake? Richard Belzer spent time in a hospital, suffered a lacerated skull, also suffered some permanent spinal injury. He sued both Hogan and Mr. T, but before the case went to trial, they settled the case out of court. Today, why Richard Belzer doesn't think Hulk Hogan is such a great guy. And Mr. T, by the way, will not win any Lifetime Achievement Awards either, with a man they once called Koozie Belzer in Bridgeport, Connecticut 25 years ago because of his basketball dribbling, and he's still dribbling these days. Richard Belzer on Sports. Later, he is one of the most intense coaches in professional basketball. His story is inspiring, and it's also chilling. How the muscle man of Minnesota, Bill Musselman, purged his haunting incident to bounce back in basketball. Then it's Hurro, Howard Rosenberg on the NCAA on CBS, and the cliches that drive him crazy. But first, here is Richard Belzer. Good to see you, Richard. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
This
Congratulations, by the way,
yes,
on your new baby.
We had a baby on last Friday night.
What position?
That's right. It's going to be a point guard, point forward. Angel Kira, all 7 pounds 11 ounces. So
7-11.
7-11. That's right. He's got already got something built in. I want to ask you about this thing at the top. This incident. Now, people played it up for laughs on the circuit for a while. They said this was all kind of pre-planned. You guys all had it in.
Right.
It was all publicity. Not so, huh?
No, as a matter of fact, Bill Cosby said, I saw him in the Letterman show right after this happened. He goes, "Oh, you're doing a little trick, aren't you? Playing?" And I showed him the scar and everything. There was no joke, and I wouldn't do it again in any form or fashion, either fake or real. It was a weird thing. I had my own talk show, and you don't expect to be injured on your show. Okay, I mean, you've had great athletes on, boxers, all kinds of people, physical people. So I had this show, Hot Properties, and someone who worked for me said, this is the first year of WrestleMania, so they're going on this big publicity blitzkrieg. And that's an apt word, I can assure you.
I'm sure.
And they said, we can get Hulk Hogan and Mr. T on the show. I said, great, because I didn't really care. But they said, but it'd be good for ratings. I said, fine, so ratings are everything. So the day of the show, like 3 or 4 hours before the show, someone who worked for Mr. T calls my office and says, Mr. Belzer, Mr. T will not do the show unless there are 50 children in the audience, and some of them crippled. So wait a minute. You want me to get some kids and cripple some of them and bring them to the... I said, what do you mean? He said, no, he wants kids in the audience. I said, well, it's 3 hours before the show. He said, well, I'm sorry, that's what he wants. All right. So I call my staff and I said, we got to get some kids here today. And what are we going to do? Well, just go to some school with a school bus. When the kids come out, sedate them, put Hot Properties t-shirts on them and get them on the bus.
Bring them out there.
Yeah, so we went to this school like Our Lady of the Connecticut Turnpike, some school. And we got the kids there. And we actually got 45 kids. None of them were, injured, but so they're in the audience, t-shirts on, and then like an hour before the show, I'm in makeup. As you know, you have to be made up before you exist on television. Yes. Being made up. And this woman who I spoke to on the phone who works for Mr. T comes into the makeup room and says, Mr. Belzer, we're kind of walking on eggshells around Mr. T today because he's in a bad mood. And he's in a bad mood. Ethiopia's in a bad mood. He wasn't on the A team. He'd been doing 30 years for manslaughter. He's in a bad mood. To myself, I said that.
To yourself?
Yeah, right. Out loud, I said, okay, we'll be very nice. So, 45 minutes later, Mr. T does in fact show up. Now, he's got, how he dresses, he had like a tracksuit on, gold chain, and he had this baton with a spring in the middle that he was pumping. And he came in with now, I don't know what genetic experiment went awry here, but this guy is not of this earth. He's the most imposing, scary, I know a lot of people. This guy's just a scary, menacing type of person. And I try to be nice. Oh, Mr. T, how you doing? Welcome to the show. And I couldn't understand what he was saying. Finally, through his interpreters, I realized that he was saying, where's my dressing room? Where's my dressing room? And I said, oh, it's back there. So he goes back to his dressing room, pumping this thing.
I'm sure he'd been a big fan of yours, by the way. You had a long track record.
Yeah, right.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
We used to do a double in the mountains. So, T and Bells. Right. So, Bells and T. So then, about 20 minutes later, Hulk Hogan comes in. Now, Hulk Hogan, can I stand up here?
Sure, you can do it.
Hulk Hogan is 6'8" or 6'9". He weighs 329 pounds. I'm 6'1". I weigh 150. Right. Newsweek magazine called me the pencil arm comedian. So I'll get this guy. Now, Hogan walks in like he just sat on a rhino. It's like he had so many steroids that he's perverted the very idea what it is to be human. It's like Macy's Day Parade. He just came out like this, and he comes over and he grabs my hand and he goes, "How you doing, dude? You're a real funny dude. I like you, dude. You're a real funny dude. I like you, dude." And what do I have, a hat on and land in Colorado? Dude, to myself, I said that. Out loud, I said.
By the way, we actually have the clip of it again. The way it played on the air. Let's run that, and then we'll talk about it. What was going through your mind when it happened, okay? This is the way it appeared in March of '85.
All right.
Now, the first thing you need to know about amateur wrestling or professional wrestling or submission holds, you just tell me, brother, when you want him to quit squealing, okay?
All right.
It's called a front chin lock. How about it, Pete?
Keep him like that for a little while. He's all right. He's just sleeping. He's sleeping. Really, I was a sleeper hole. He'll be all right. He's waking up now. That was a serious move. A lot of people...
See? It works. All right, brother.
And now, we'll be right back after this word from you-know-who.
Oof.
Now that was no play. I mean, there was no put on there. That was blood behind. Let's take a look. We'll narrate this now. You tell us what you were feeling like.
Well, this is like the time I got shot by Hinckley. You want me to go over it again?
So really,
all right. The thing is, he said, "Signal me if it hurts." Right?
Yeah.
So I tried to signal. He ignored it. Right now, here I'm trying to signal, but I have no strength here. My arm, I'm limp. I'm gone. Boom. See, when you cut off the carotid artery, the blood to the brain, your brain goes, check, please, because your brain needs. We're weird humans. We need oxygen.
Yeah.
So I was unconscious while I was in his arms. Now he's not a wrestler because he left Harvard Divinity School. He's not a bright woman. So what does he do? He takes his arm away, and as you could see, I fell with my own weight. Hit the back of my head. Now, I jumped up and said, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
My doctor said, I don't know how you were in shock. How did you do that? I said, show business is not only in my blood, it's on my jacket, it's on the floor. I don't know how I did that.
By the way, Lou Albano, Captain Lou.
We have a mutual friend, Lou and I.
Yes, who would that be?
Cindy Lauper.
You just did a film with Cindy Lauper. But he was on the show, and he talked about
Not with me. On this show.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant on my
show. Right. The showmanship of professional wrestlers, the fact that they're athletes and they're show people. This is what he said back then.
As I said, I believe in professional wrestlers are without a doubt some of the finest athletes in the world, but we will understand that there is showmanship involved while they are great fine athletes.
But this, as we said before, was no show. Now, you must have had some major resentment towards a guy that could have killed you. I mean, he came
very close to killing me. I was told by sports medicine experts that if I had fallen a few inches either way, I could be crippled for life. I could have been dead. It's like a building coming up and hit you in the head when you fall a dead weight like that.
And I sued. You settled out of court.
Well, I sued them, and it took years. America's a weird place. I mean, I'm not going to live in anywhere else, but the judicial system. You saw what he did on live television, right? I think I take the tape with my lawyer. I go to the judge. I say, babe, $5 million. What? No. His lawyer, I sued Mr. T, I sued Hulk Hogan, I sued Vince McMahon, I sued the World Wrestling Federation. I sued them all. And every one of their lawyers got to depose me. So for hours, for like 3 or 4 days, 6, 7 hours a day, they asked me questions like, did you smoke marijuana in 1953? I think I did. Did your wife pose nude for Playboy? Did yours? Answer the question. It's like, they asked these questions that have nothing to do with what happened. So the trial was set for January 2nd, 1990. On December 29th, the last working day of the decade, my lawyers and his lawyers got together, or their lawyers, and they made an offer that I couldn't refuse.
It would have been a hell of a court appearance for all of it. You're going to have guys with feathers and stuff. It would have been wild.
It would have been wild because the press pool had applied to have cameras there, so it would have been pretty
something
scary.
Maybe wanted to televise, and I thought everything worked out just fine. We'll come back more with the guy they once called Koozie Belzer in Connecticut. We'll talk about that, the early days of Richard Belzer as a basketball star. After